if you're over 50, don't skip these steps. So our skin changes as we're getting older. We're going to have darker areas, broken capillaries, redness, of course your hormonal blemishes, here we go. And then also dark circles, anything that may be uneven skin tone on our faces. And so the first thing you don't want to skip, ladies, is a color corrector. Don't dive into a main shade. Now we want to use a foundation that's a little bit darker because we have unevenness everywhere, but there's no way a main shade foundation is going to be that dark. If I wore something that dark all over my face, I would have a floating head, right? It'd be way too dark. So how do we do this? We don't skip a color correcting step for my mature over 50 gals. So we're going to go in and just apply a little bit of color corrector. And so I'm going to take a color called Mango, and I'm just going to tap on some of these hormonal blemishes. They are very, very dark, so definitely you don't want to just start covering that with your main shade. It's not going to do the trick. It might have initially, but what's going to happen? Those dark areas are going to show through. So go into your dark circles. We're going to combat dark with dark. So just a little less is best when we're dealing with these dark areas, and we don't want a lot of makeup to ensure we're not going to crease. Okay, and then this area right here, I have a lot of broken capillaries, so we're using a darker color. And usually many women over 50 have around the nose redness. So I'm just going to apply very little, and then you may have a red nose, you may have redness around your cheeks. So let's move into a little bit of a bigger brush and just tap. We're not going to swipe the color, but we're just going to tap that in. And already those areas are mitigated. So one thing you don't ever want to skip is color correcting first, then your main shade, which will be just a little bit darker because we do have areas on our face that are uneven. And so this is just going to, we're going to tap, take care of those areas, and you're still going to feel like you don't have any makeup on. Always tapping on this makeup with the mature face. We want to get into those nooks and crannies. So tap, tap, very little is key with this makeup. It's cream makeup. The second thing you don't want to skip out on, ladies, is applying a contour. So contour gives dimension. A lot of times our bone structure, we're losing density. So we're not one-dimensional women. We want to give a little bit of lift. So we're going to do contour. Don't forget the contour. So we're going to stamp in and push right underneath the cheekbone to give a little bit of lift. Tap, tap, tap. If you have a larger forehead, go into that hairline, very little. That will warm up to your skin. And then we have the jowls, the dreaded jowls, the sagging skin, the double chin. So don't skip applying. Start at your ear and working your way over. Contour gives that dimension, and it also recedes. And we want this receded. So we're just going to tap on. Then, believe it or not, noses get bigger. Am I right or am I right? Yes, I'm right. I know for me, it was bigger during all 4 of my pregnancies. And now when I get older, are you kidding me? It's larger. So we're just going to stamp on that same contour and then blend downward. And this isn't mandatory, but it is fun to do. Now, next, something we don't want to forget is a brightener. I call it the triangle of youth. So you're going to go down your nose with a brighter color, and it's just going to go, especially if you do contouring, but even if you don't go contouring, don't do contouring down the sides of your nose or on the bridge, then just take a little bit of a lighter color and then through here. Now, I'm not going to apply any lighter color underneath my eyes or around here because I have laugh lines. Now, if I had smooth, like you've seen it, they can't do this. Their skin is like glass through here. You might be able to do that, but most of my 50 and older crowd, I will be 60 here. You can't go with lighter in that. So you can use a brush, you can use your fingers alongside your nose. Again, underneath the tear trough area. And that's it. See how it just brightens up right through here? That we don't want to skip, lady, is a bronzer. Ladies, we tend to lose a lot of warmth as we mature. And a bronzer helps bring that life back. And we're going to use very little. So you're going to tap in, start at the neck. We're going to bring it down. All right. And then a little bit of warmth on our foreheads and our cheeks. Don't forget that. You could put a little bit on your nose if you wanted to. All right. One other thing is the lip and cheek color, a cheek color. So I'm going to go into more of a nudie color on my cheeks. Now, I'm not going to go all the way up here. I don't want my smile lines enhanced. So I'm going to go right above the contour. I'm going to marry it. And then I'm also going to use that same color on my lips, keeping it more of that nude, neutral color. Oops, got a little bit on my palette. And then we're going to blend. We're always blending downward, okay? So don't blend up into the area of your temple or on your wrinkles, your smile lines, your lifelines. Keep it down, ladies. Keep it married right with that contour, not over, but above. And it's going to give a beautiful flush of color to your over 50 face. Look at that. It's just going to brighten it up. Now, another thing you don't want to skip out on is your application of an eyeshadow, and it's really about placement. So when you do have a hooded eye, as you can see, it goes down turned through here. You do not see a crease. So there's some variations as we get older. A hooded eye in my 40s, I could still see my crease. But as we get older, we lose a lot of density. Things start to fall. You're not going to see a crease at all, okay? All you need to do is apply a medium shade first all over. I'm going to apply Chai, and this will help with application staying in place. You don't want to use a cream because as we mature, my 50 and older gals, we experience crepey eyes. We didn't have that when we were younger. May have a subtle hood, but we end up having more crepey and wrinkly. So you're going to go into this light shade. Don't forget yes, we're going to get the crease because you might look down. But more importantly, you're going to look straight in the mirror, relax your eyes, and then go above where a crease would show up. You're not going to see a crease, but you're going to go higher than you think, okay, with a medium tone. It's going to open up our eyes, tapping and not swiping. We're always tapping, and I like to move my brush upward on that tap. More of a medium. Again, relax and go above. Now, we're going to apply a darker color on the outer corner up here. You could keep it medium through here, but when we have a hooded eye that's already fallen and resting on your lashes, there's a little bit of difference. So I'm going to take Lullaby and right by the tail of my brow, I'm going to go above, moving it upward, always upward, blending upward, tap, relaxing my eyes and going above that crease on the outer corner, but above. This is going to help with all that hooded eye. Darker colors recede, and I don't want that hooded eye to bring forward. I want it to recede. So a little bit of a darker color will help your mature eye. And then don't skip out on a lighter color, maybe a light shimmer. So I'm going to apply Soulmate. It's a light shimmer to the lid. Never put it below, nothing highlighting a hooded eye. Remember, it's already, look at that. We don't need to highlight it. We want to highlight your beautiful eyes. So take your eye, tilt back, and then go downward because we have crepey, wrinkly eyes. We're not going to do any windshield wiper look. We're just tapping, tapping, tapping downward. Our eyeshadows are always in a tapping movement, and look how that just brought forward my lid that you could not see. Stretch, go in that corner that's going to open up your eye, make you look wide awake. Over, and down. Flip it and blend the edges. We don't need a whole lot of eyeshadow to get that impact. And then I'm just going to take the small end and apply that same color. This one's a lullaby right underneath, keeping it soft and not harsh. And then mascara. Mascara is something you don't want to skip out. You're going to do your lower first, just a little bit, and then go in and do the upper, zigzagging. And this is what you don't want to skip out on, doing it this way. Okay, on that outer corner, we have that hooded eye, so we really want to bring lift. Lift, lift, lift. Blinking in and wiggling it up. Just enough to show that you actually have lashes. So don't skip on that. Look how beautiful that is. And that is it. Those are the don't skip if you're over 50. Like I said, I'm almost 60 this year. And so you don't want to skip on, especially color correcting first. There's no way a darker shade, although you want to use that, is going to cover the darkest points, especially when you're over 50. All right, ladies, let me know in the questions if you have, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Yes, your mind goes too as you get older. And then I would love to color match you to your colors for a mature face. All right, put the word match and be happy to reach out to you and get you started on this beautiful cream makeup. Bye-bye, ladies. Take care and God bless.